Hi everyone, Mel Gabby here, and welcome to the Oracle Sessions. And so, where I pull a card, not for divination, but more about what does the message resonate with you? What does it mean from a psychology, philosophy, and spiritual perspective? And so, I bring my own take on these cards from my 25 years of working with people in systems, in psychology, and well-being and coaching. So, the idea is that we are agents of our own lives, and there are lots of things that aren't in our control, and there are lots of things that are in our control. And so I don't use these for divination because I'm not trained in the art necessarily of tarot. I understand them, I have tarot, but I like the oracle cards because it's a way of accessing some information sometimes that it doesn't sit in the forefront of our mind, or is more in the unconscious. So what quite happens fairly regularly with clients, if I pull a card, or I'm at a festival and I pull a card and I start having a conversation with someone, that card will relate to them in some way, and it is fascinating. So be open-minded, and this might be a message for you. If you'd like to know more about what I write and the community over on Patreon, do see the links below. You can join the community where I'll be doing some live sessions and some workshops over the coming months. At the moment, it's free to join, so make sure you join. Oh, I've done this before. Okay. Relationships are assignments. Okay, so I've done it before, but it doesn't mean to say that my take on it will be the same. So I'm going to see what Cal Gray says in his book, and I'll build on it from there. So if I said to some people who are really struggling in their relationships, the relationships are assignments, they're probably going to get quite upset with me. And the thing with relationships is it's hard for me to say what the dating world currently looks like, because it's changed so much over the last 10 years. I mean, years ago, online dating was fairly new, and people would be quite secretive about doing any kind of online dating. If you met someone, you'd be making up stories about where you met each other rather than telling your friends that you met them online. And yet we still follow, to some degree, some of the ideas that we have about dating and relationships. And the thing is, we probably need to be asking a lot more questions of the people that we meet, that we're going to spend any time with, romantically or otherwise, because the decision to spend some time with someone, get to know them, go on dates, also means that there's other facets of your life that you won't be paying attention to. And you, if you're not asking the right questions, could end up spending time with somebody that further down the road you might realise wasn't a good idea. But this can be stages, phases that we go through. So I've got, every client I work with has had some kind of relationship issues to also work through, even if initially they didn't come and see me to explore their relationships. So if you'd like to, I've got a few spaces. If you'd like any sessions to explore what your relationships are like at the moment, whether that is love and intimate relationships, or with family or friends, because relationships are an important part of our existence. So Cal says no connection or relationships happens by accident. There are many opportunities to learn in every interaction we have. I wouldn't suggest doing it with every interaction, because it can get quite exhausting. We need to enjoy life and live life as well. Sure, there can be toxic and draining relationships, but through these we gain a deeper sense of who we are and the gifts we have, and the strength we can draw on to overcome adversity. Now, this is where some people might get upset, because it's not like we necessarily step out to choose the kind of person we've ended up spending time with, and then find out further down the line that they've got a lot more issues than we even realised or bargained for, or that there are toxic traits within that situation. Now, we can use psychopathology as a language to look at narcissism, psychopaths, sociopath, and the kind of things we might see. And there's people far more qualified than I am, like Eleanor Greenberg, who writes about this a lot, and she also answers questions on Quora. Eleanor Greenberg, she's been in the field for about 30 years, maybe more. And she says it took her a long time before she was able to really be confident that she could diagnose somebody with being a narcissist, a sociopath, psychopath, because much of this is hidden in society. And so what we've got to learn is to date smarter and ask more questions and filter more, and not fall into the romantic notion that Hollywood has been conditioning us to believe is what relationships look like. That we meet someone, we fall in love, and these things may well happen. We meet someone, we fall in love, we love spending time with them, but also reality of day-to-day life, of how people cope with stress, whether they want children or not, whether they aspire in their work, whether they want to be successful, whether they're happy doing what they're doing day to day, whether they've got friendships, how they spend their hobby time, all of those different things, and the same for you. So the tougher ones, when you're in them, doesn't feel like a life lesson that you want to learn, and you can get caught in that. But what I've learned from all the women that I've worked with on the programs where they've come out of toxic relationships, where there's been domestic abuse as well in many cases, is that actually the relationship went really well until they got married and had a child. So some were duped almost, and in some cases, sometimes there are signs there and we don't read them, or we're not good at reading the signs, or they're too close and too similar to patterns of our own relationships growing up. So if there was domestic violence growing up, a lot of chaos, a lot of drama and arguments, that isn't like an unusual facet of our experience. So when that happens in our relationships, we can normalize that. We can think that that is a normal way that two people relate, until you spend time with people who have a healthy functioning relationship, and then you might view it differently. So nothing in the universe is set in stone, and everything is constantly changing according to the workings of human intentions and divine laws. It's not that everything happens for a reason. It's more that we have the opportunity to find the reason for that happening and derive the meaning from that. But what I'd encourage people to, especially who are out there dating, is to really consider, where are you in your life at the moment? Are you ready for a relationship to give time and energy to somebody that is important to you? Or are you looking for somebody to socialize with, hang out with, have something temporary with? And if it's something temporary, can you bargain on the cost that you might actually develop some feelings for them? And if you both start on the same page and you develop feelings and they don't, that can also be a tricky situation to get into. Now, that doesn't mean to say that you don't have experiences in life and that's just part of life, but we can have some agency